Hi, today we are going to be working on section 7.2 areas of triangles. So a triangle is a shape with three sides, and the area A of a triangle is 1/2 the product of its base B and its height H. So this is one way to memorize the formula: 1/2 times base times height, or another option is base times height split into two equal pieces divided by 2. So that's another option for you. Okay, before we do example 1, there's a little note here that basically just says, remember that the base does not have to be the bottom of the triangle. Base does not necessarily mean bottom. If we do a quick review of what we talked about in the previous section, for a square, we multiply the two side lengths. For a rectangle, we multiply the two side lengths. And for a parallelogram, we multiply the base and the height. And what they all have in common is that they form right angles. So the same thing applies to a triangle. So the base does not have to be the bottom. It just needs to be a side that is perpendicular, which means right angle, to the height. Okay, so let's find the area of each of these. Now, as a reminder from the previous lesson, there's 3 steps you should be taking. Write the formula, fill in what you know, get your answer. So this is a triangle. It has 3 sides, so I write my triangle formula. Next step, I fill in what I know. I'm looking for the area, so it remains A, the variable. I'm looking for that right angle to see where the base and the height is. So the base and the height are 5 and 8. And then you solve. You can do this in any order since multiplication is commutative. We could do 5 times 8 is 40, split into 2 equal pieces is 20. And we label inches squared. Okay, B, we're looking at the shaded shape. This is just some extra measurements that need to be included. It's a triangle, so we write our triangle formula. We fill in what we know. We're looking for the right angle and the measurements that connect. So the base is going to be this piece, and the height that creates the right angle goes up to the tippy top is 9. And you multiply in any order. I'm going to take half of 12 is 6, times 9 is 54, and I label meters squared. Okay, example 2, finding areas of triangles. So again, just 3 steps. We recognize that this is a triangle. It has 3 outer sides. So I start with my formula. I'll show you for this one the other form of the formula, base times height split into 2. We plug in what we know. Now again, we're looking for that right angle to be the connection between the base and the height. So the right angle is here. That connects this piece, which is 5, and this piece, which is 6. This 8 here is just an extra piece of info that's not needed to find the area. And we solve. 5 times 6 is 30, split into 2 is 15, and we label centimeters squared. Okay, last step. These types of problems where you are finding a missing dimension or a missing measure, this one's particularly asking us to find the base of the triangle. You might have more than those 3 steps. You should still include the 3 steps, but you might have extra. So we start with, this is a triangle. It has 3 sides, so we use our formula. We plug in what we know. In this case, we have the area, which is 56. And we have, let's see, here is the right angle. I see we have the height, and we're missing the base. So down here is the base, and the height is 12. The base and the height are kind of interchangeable because of the commutative property of multiplication for this. Now we solve. This is where your extra steps might come into play. You want to simplify what you can on this side. Half of 12 is 6. And then you solve. So this is a multiplication problem over here. So we're going to use division to undo to get that variable by itself. This is why we did our equations unit before. The 6's cross out. And this is an improper fraction, so we're just going to make it a mixed number. 9 1/3. And we have to label it. This is not area. This is just representing the base. So we're going to label it with millimeters. You shouldn't put squared. So that tells me that my base is 9 1/3 millimeters. And that is the end of the 7.2 notes.